I was at the helicopter on the West Side Highway, and I ran into Dan Marino and Boomer Esiason. So then I was like, what do you guys, you guys are obviously here at the heliport. Where are you guys going? What's happening? And they were like, well, we're going to Monticello, and we're going to go race cars. And so I thought to myself, I love cars. My dad is obsessed with cars, and so I spent my entire life around cars. And so in order to placate and temper my overdrive, I've decided that we're going to go to Skip Barber, and we're going to learn how to drive cars. I'm really excited. You can do that. So I arrived at Skip Barber and I was very intimidated because it's definitely a man's area, and it's like Manville there.
In fact, we find women make the best racing school customers because they actually listen to what the instructors say. Most of the men, you can see the words go in this ear and out the other because they've got all this macho baggage about, I know how to drive a race car, I can do this, and they don't really listen. Well, the women's like, okay, tell me what to do, and they do it. And that's exactly what Kelly did.
If I overwork the front tires with that much weight in there, it'd be easy to make the front tires skid, understeer. Or if I were to overwork the rear tires with that much weight back there, it'd be easy to make the rear tires skid, which would be oversteer.
Okay. I'm not exactly the most courageous person in the entire world, but I'm curious.
Well, it's just a regular car now.
And all of a sudden, I'm on the racetrack in a race car, in a red suit with red ballerina shoes.
Kelly, I have to say, she was very excited to do this. Her first time out, she was tentative, but she really got with the program, got the confidence to do what she needed to do, and by the third or fourth session, she was doing tremendous. What Kelly was doing speed-wise, the first session, she wasn't even over 40 miles an hour, but by the last session, she was already going 85, 90 miles an hour down the front straight. More importantly, she was carrying what we call carrying a lot of speed through the corners, which is what a race car does. That's what a race car does best, is brake and corner. And she was starting to just nibble on the edges of that through a couple of the corners. The excitement of being in a race car, it's very hard to describe. It's one of those things where you gotta do it to understand it. But it's basically, it's gonna sound cliched, but it's thrilling, it's scary, it's fast.
I guess probably the largest single thing is people being in control of their own environment. I mean, there's very few things we have control of in this world.
Like we say, it's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
It was because it was going to be small, that it was going to be very light and very like liquid feeling, but in fact it was the opposite. It was very, very strong, and it handled really well, and just like the slightest turn, there was like the car moved immediately. So it wasn't as if it was totally not what I was thinking. I thought like I was going to turn it and the car was going to go flying, or we were going to do donuts or something like that was going to happen. But in fact, it was the opposite. It was like being in this, man's go-kart.